How's everyone? Welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is Sherry. I am the owner of SMA Credit Excellence. Hope everyone had a wonderful weekend. I had an amazing weekend, right? My birthday was Thursday. Happy birthday to me. Pretty excited about this birthday as I am in a new decade of life for me, and I'm entering a new chapter, and I'm expecting amazing things to happen throughout this next decade of my life. Mother's Day was yesterday. Amazing day as well. I went had a relaxing weekend. I didn't do too much. SWV&Xscape Verzuz was on Saturday. Did anybody watch that? Turn up. I was the best one for me. Like, I know me and my sister was going back and forth about that. She really liked the Monica and Brandy one, and I did too. I really enjoyed the Monica and Brandy Verzuz, but this one for me, the Xscape and SWV Verzuz, was amazing for me because number one, I love the sisterhood vibe that you can kind of feel going on between the two groups. I love that they were sexy grown women out here and they still can sing. Like, they vocals was just crazy Saturday. Like, I loved how they did some of their lives, how they sung some of their songs live. Like, they didn't just kind of sing off of the recordings. They kind of just did some of their songs live, and I just loved it. It was just an amazing vibe. Like, you could tell, like, legit they're like real cool friends. Even if they don't talk like that, they like, it's a respect factor there, and I love that between Black women. So Verzuz was amazing for me. I was turned up in my house. Sunday was Mother's Day. I had an amazing relaxing day yesterday. I went to go get massage. That was pretty amazing for me. I loved it. I'm definitely going to treat myself again and not wait so long to go get a massage. And then I just came home and just relaxed and just kind of chilled. I cooked dinner for myself and my kids, and I made carrot cake cupcakes. Like, just had a nice time. That's it. And that's it. My weekend was pretty dope, you know. Birthday, coming off my birthday vibes, coming off of Verzuz, and then Mother's Day. So I had an amazing type of weekend, and I've been off work since Thursday. So hey, turn up. But anyways, wanted to get on today to kind of go through to kind of discuss a little bit about, you know, have you ever kind of just looked at your credit card and you just kind of wondered, like, or noticed maybe, you know, you see that you're paying your credit card bills and you just kind of getting a little frustrated because you don't see your balance is going down, right? Have you ever experienced that? Have you ever thought like I'm making this payment and, you know, my balance just doesn't seem like it's going down. It don't seem like it's moving, right? So I just kind of wanted to get on and talk briefly about that. So let's just get right into it. Your payments barely cost interest. Interest is one of the costs of borrowing money. We all know this, right? Each of your monthly debt payments covers a certain amount of interest and a certain amount of principal. If more of your payment is going towards interest, your payment will only inch down a small amount each month. For example, let's say you have a credit card balance and it's $1,000, right? That's the balance of the credit card. Let's say that interest rate on that credit card is 18%. Your finance charge is about $15. That's it. That's your finance charge is about $15 with a payment. We're talking about a minimum payment of $30. Your balance will only go down to $985, not $970, because that $30 payment that you made, $15 of it went on interest and $15 of it went towards the principal. So that's why you see your balance go down from 1,000 to 985, not 970. Okay, because that $15 payment was applied to the finance charges, which is the interest. All right. So you definitely want to make sure that when you are making your credit card payments, I always tell my clients, if you can, try to pay more than the minimum. You want to pay more than your minimum balance every month. If you're only paying your minimum balance, it's not going to really help in seeing your balance go down. All right. So I always try to encourage my clients to, if you can, if you have a little extra this month, try to put a little bit more down than the minimum. Okay. So just a tip for you. What else? You can increase your payment amount so that more money goes towards reducing your balance. Sometimes paying a little extra on your loan will advance you to the next due date instead of reducing the balance. So make sure to indicate that on your payment coupon, or sometimes you even have to call the creditor that extra payment needs to be applied to principal. So if you are, let's say that you kind of went and you kind of made, let's say you made a payment before the due date, but let's say if you got a little bit of extra money, you kind of wanted to put maybe another payment on there. Sometimes, that payment will go towards advancing out your next due date. But if you wanted to kind of be applied in that same period, in that same payment period, you want to make sure you indicate that on the payment coupon, that this amount here, this extra fee or this extra payment that I'm sending, it needs to be applied to principal. And a lot of times you have to call. A lot of times you have to call and say, hey, I sent in another payment, or I went online and made another payment on such and such date. I need that payment to be applied to principal. Okay? Don't be afraid to do that. Don't think that they're going to automatically put it towards principal, because again, I work in banking, and if you don't say anything, a lot of times we go ahead and just apply it as a normal payment. Okay? You want to make sure you ask. Getting a lower interest rate is another option, but not always as easy to execute. With credit cards, this means either asking your credit card issuer for a lower rate, or transferring that balance to a lower rate credit card. With loans, the only way to get a lower interest rate is to refinance into another loan with a lower interest rate. Your credit history, of course, has to be in good enough standing to qualify for a lower interest rate if you are refinancing a loan. All right, so just keep that in mind. A lot of times you can especially with like credit card debt, you can probably see another credit card offer, and let's say that they have a promotion or they have like a special going on for that time period, to where you go ahead and apply and approve for this card. It's 0% on balance transfers for the first 6 months, something of that sorts, right? So sometimes when people see those type of offers, they're thinking about, oh, well, I do have this credit card over here and the interest rate is like 23%. Maybe I can apply for this credit card over here, might get approved at a lower interest rate. And then if I do get approved for this, I could transfer over that balance on the card that has a 23% interest rate, transfer that entire balance. You can't do half the balance. I believe you can do half the balance. I know, I guess I think that's something you want to ask, though. I think it's different for every lender. But anyways, you go with that credit card that has the higher interest rate, and you say, hey, let me go ahead and just transfer that balance onto this one, and then you have 6 months to pay off that debt at a 0% interest rate. for the first 6 months, or whatever the criteria is or requirement is for that particular card. That's something else to look out for. That's something else that I see quite often. Again, I work in banking, and a lot of times, we do have those offers to where certain cards are on promotion and there's 0% for balance transfers for a period of time. 6 months, sometimes 12 months, to where we could take that balance off of here, especially if the interest rate is high and you're kind of not seeing that balance go down. Something to look into and see if that will benefit you. Weigh all your options. All right. What else do I have here? Your payments are going towards your fees, right? Your late fees can be avoided by making your payments on time each month. So sometimes when you are making those payments, especially if you're making your payments after your due date, then you have incurred like a late fee, and sometimes your payments are going towards those late fees. To avoid that, you just want to make sure that you are making your payments on time each month. All right. Schedule your online payments for a few days before the due date, so you have time to react if something goes wrong. You want to make sure that you are paying your bills on time before your due date. All right. Let's see. You may be able to get your annual fee waived by asking. A lot of times, you have a credit card or whatever, and you have an annual fee that you're paying. Okay, well, why don't you call and see if you can maybe have that annual fee waived? It doesn't hurt to ask the questions. If you don't ask, you never know what's available to you. All right. Transactional fees, like cash advances, are balance transfer fees. You can avoid those extra payments by avoiding those types of transactions. So cash advances are expensive because they are pretty much, they begin accruing interest immediately. So if you, let's say you can't get to your ATM or something, or you're in a store and maybe it's an emergency or something, whatever the situation may be, and you probably just need to do a cash advance off of one of your cards, right? You're always paying for cash advances unless your bank or unless that financial institution has some type of offer to where you're not paying them. But the only time you're not paying for a cash advance is if you're pretty much using it at maybe your own institution, and even then you're still paying a fee. Okay, so anytime you have to use your credit card for a cash advance, that is occurring immediately. Okay, so if you don't have to do a cash advance, don't do a cash advance. If it's not necessary, or if it doesn't fit what you're trying to do, especially if you don't want to incur more fees, you definitely want to make sure you don't do too many cash advances. All right. Another tip here that could be a little bit frustrating, especially if you're not seeing your debt go down, if you're still creating debt. If you're still making credit card purchases or taking out loans, your overall debt balance won't go down by much, if at all. All right. So to see more progress with your payments, you have to stop creating new debt. Period. Point blank. You have to stop creating new debt. What does that mean? No more credit card purchases. You pretty much have to move any reoccurring subscriptions, payments that you may had on that credit card. You may want to move that over to maybe your debit card now. You want to make sure that those payments are no longer coming out of your credit card debt, especially if you're in, if your credit card debt is too high. Like let's eliminate some of this stuff that's kind of coming off of our credit card until we can get a better balance on our debt that we have. All right. And then my last tip that I have for you, especially, when it seems like your balance just isn't going down if you're paying only the minimum payment. To make a more significant progress on your debt, you gotta pay more than that minimum balance. I think I may have said it earlier, but you definitely want to make sure you're paying. If your minimum payment is just $25, then let's aim to up that to about maybe 50. Let's double that. Let's aim to make it, let's triple it and maybe try to get it to 75. Like, you know, if you can't do more than 100, let's try to get it as close as to 100 as possible. All right. Let's see here. So definitely just want to make sure that you're paying more than the minimum. I'm definitely, if you have it extra, if you have to sacrifice some other, maybe, you know, if you have to sacrifice your Starbucks bill, or maybe sacrifice, I don't know, going to get maybe your nails or your pedicure done for that month, maybe let's apply that towards our credit card debt for that particular month. We have to get into a mind frame to where we're really changing our perspective with our credit and how we're using our debt. All right. Okay, so this is what I have for you today. I extremely hope that it was helpful, and I definitely hope that you got something from it. Just a few little tips here. You know, if you're frustrated and if you kind of don't see your credit card debt going down, definitely try one or two of these different tips here, these different methods here, and see if it works for you. All right, again, my name is Sherry. I am the owner of SMA Credit Excellence. You can follow me on Instagram at SMA Credit Excellence. You can follow me on Facebook. I have a business page at SMA Credit Excellence. And you can also follow me on Twitter at Sherry_Monique. Please like this video. Please share it with someone. If you are someone who just needs to make sure that your credit report is accurate, if you need to make sure that your credit report is in the is in the best shape possible, hit me up. Go to my website at www.smacreditexcellence.com. Book a intro phone call with me, 15 minutes. Let me tell you about what I do. Let's set up that credit audit appointment. It's a Zoom credit audit appointment. Let's look and do a detailed, thorough credit audit of your credit report, and let's recognize those items that are on your credit report. Let's see what's yours. Let's see what's not. Let's see what's not yours, and let's start making sure that your credit report is as accurate as it should be. Your credit report should be accurate. You should be able to recognize every item that is reporting to the bureaus on your credit report. If you have items on your credit report that does not belong to you, you have collections, you have charged offs, you have liens, you have just items on there, like, you need to hit me up ASAP. Let's do that credit audit and let's get your credit report in excellent shape. All right. Thank you guys for tuning in. Share my video and have an amazing day.